that doesn't get your heart going, you probably should check your pulse. You may be dead. Anyways, we got a fun one for you today here at the Auto Ranch. We've been talking about this one for a little while, and finally have a little bit of time to do a recording on it. This is my 2022 GT500 base that I ordered. I ordered this car about a year ago, came in about a month ago. It was a long wait, and like a lot of you who potentially have waited or tried to buy these, it's not an easy process. Lots of ups and downs. You know, the dealer I was working with, Lebanon Ford, was terrific. None of the fault goes to them, but the allocations this year were weird. It seemed like they wanted to build more carbon fiber track pack cars than they did base cars, which it's usually the opposite of that. And I didn't really want the carbon fiber car for lots of reasons. Mainly, it's $20,000 more expensive than this car, and I had no intention. You know, the car won't ever see a racetrack, or if it does, it'll be minimal. And those carbon fiber wheels are awesome, and I know they handle well, but I'd be a nervous wreck driving that car with those wheels that cost $5,000-$6,000 a piece to replace. It's just not worth it for me. But anyways, I'll flip it around, show you something much better than myself looking. Anyways, it is code orange. I hope that it shows as orange on the camera, because sometimes it has a weird way of looking like race red, which is not unusual. I say code orange. You know, code orange to me looks very similar to the competition orange that was on the 2012 13 Boss 302s, and then I think they had it in 2015 or maybe 16 on the S550s. It's very similar to that, and people used to confuse it with race red on that car, or on those cars as well. I owned a competition orange 2015 Mustang GT, and then I owned you know, a couple competition orange Boss 302s in 2012. Like I said, this is a base car, which I always laugh, base GT500, but in lieu, as compared to the track pack carbon fiber car, this car is pretty minimally equipped, which was how I wanted it. You know, being in the residual value projection business for a long time, you find that the more options you add, the less people pay for those things when you go to resell cars. I mean, I'm a car enthusiast. I love to play with cars, but my history is I don't keep cars that long. So when I buy them, I try and buy them with the equipment that's, you know, going to minimize my investment, maximize my return, and enjoyment. I honestly intend to keep this car for a little while, mainly because it was quite a process to get it. So anyways, there's not a lot of equipment on the car. It's like I said, base GT500. It does have the stripes, over the top stripes, you know, that go, you know, obviously the whole perimeter of the car, and down the back. It also has the side stripes, which are, I want to say they charge like $300 for the side stripes and like $1,000 for the over-the-top stripes. It has the carbon fiber dash, which I will show you. It has the handling package, which basically gives you these little, God, the name escapes me, but the wickers basically. And it also gives you this little gurney flap in the back to get you that big downforce that you need for driving on the street. And then it also has adjustable camber plates in the suspension, which are good if you're going to take it on the track. that option's around $1,500, and it's for me, it's mostly a visual thing for the splitter wickers and basically the little lip on the spoiler. Trying to think if there's anything else. I think that's it. I went with the comfort seats instead of the Recaros, which you'll see when I open it up. Recaros are a really cool looking seat, and I honestly, for a guy my size, they're not uncomfortable in this car, but you lose the heating and the cooling, and you have to pay $1,500 for them. And personally, that's a hard one for me to justify. I know some people really like the look of them. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I think that's it. I did not go with the tech package. That's $3,000 on this car. Basically gives you a better stereo as well as navigation. Honestly, I haven't used navigation in several cars that I've owned that have had it. I mean, I use my phone. I don't think the stereo sounds significantly better to justify $3,000. I've had that B&O stereo and other Ford products, or Mustang products for that matter. But I will say, I did think about it, because you don't get the Cobra on the floor when you open the door with the puddle lights. I debated that, $3,000, sorry, just couldn't justify it for that. But I think that's the coolest feature of the tech package. I think you also get a multi-way adjustable driver's seat, but I tend to set it and then forget it. So, but that's kind of the options on the car. It's, like I said, pretty minimally loaded car. They upped the MSRP on these cars quite a bit from 22 to 21. I think a lot of that had to do with dealer markups. They figured if the dealer was going to mark up the car, Ford would rather have a piece of that, and so they increased the MSRP a couple $1,000s. So you end up, it's hard to order a base car for less than mid-80s anyways, and that's the same car that 2 years ago was under 80 grand by far. So, but like everything right now, it's all a little bit more expensive. So let's take a look next under the hood. So here we are back under the hood. There's a lot. I like how it says carbon fiber composite here for kind of the front pillar. They use a lot of high dollar, low weight components. Obviously in a lot of cars, but particularly in this car. I mean, this is where the magic happens on this car. 760 horsepower, 625 foot-pounds of torque from a supercharged 5.2 liter V8. I've owned close to 300 cars. It is the fastest car in terms of horsepower and really speed that I've ever owned. It is wickedly fast, particularly with the DCT transmission. These are not available, as you probably know, in anything but the DCT. There's no manual option on this generation GT500. When I compare it to the Mach 1 handling package, that I had prior to this, there's no comparison in terms of power and feel of the car. But the engagement with the Tremec versus the DCT, DCT is fun when you manually shift it, but it's not the same as driving a manual. But that's a sacrifice you have to make for this particular car. These motors are hand built. And they're basically all signed by the person who built it. Joseph Rice is who built mine. I actually reached out to him on Facebook, and he's a super nice guy. Told him how much I appreciated him building my motor and how much I was enjoying the car. Like I said, super nice guy. And most of them are. Some of you have had these hand-built motors, GT350s. and some other, the high performance cars. Those guys and ladies who build them are really cool people, and they're usually receptive to you reaching out. This car has a removable rain tray. If you take it on the track, they recommend you remove that for additional cooling, which I think is kind of a cool deal. These do come with a hood strut. I guess when you spend the big bucks on the GT500, they'll throw that in. Though I think we all wish it was standard on the regular Mustangs as well. The other thing I forgot to mention when I was talking about the outside, the GT500, it's about an inch, I think it's about an inch wider in the front and rear. You can kind of see the grooves there, the extensions basically to the fenders. And then it kind of goes along the body line to the back. These come with 20-inch wheels. They're 305s in the front, 315s in the rear. The base car like this has what I've said before is the best summer performance tire that you can put on a car, the Michelin Pilot 4S tires. If you get the carbon fiber car, you get the Nemesis tires, I call them, the Cup 2s, which are a great track tire, but that's about it. So those are how the tires are stacked. I'll show you the brake rotors. They're 16.5 inches. It is the largest brake rotor on a production sport coupe in the United States. These things are huge. I don't know if you can tell that from the pictures, but they are massive. And then of course you have a 6-piston Brembo brakes on the front, and again, I don't know if I can give you a size comparison, but they are humongous. It's probably one of the best stopping brakes that I've ever felt. So you also, with these, because of the wide tires and big wheels, you got to watch the rock throwing. I'm sure you've heard this. The only modifications I've done to this car really are to put these on these JLT foam rock blockers. Basically rocks, literally coming off the truck, there's rocks piled up in here. And to be honest, I ordered the mud flaps this week because I noticed, they're starting to pack further down the body line, because as the wheels turn, the rocks get thrown even further out than just where the foam is, from having such wide tires. So, shut the hood here. The other thing with these, because there's so much power being made, they do have these hood pins as an extra source of making sure that the hood stays down when you're driving it at high speeds. The other thing that I did do modification-wise is, they don't come from the factory with these letters in the Shelby or the GT500 in the grille. I actually installed those. They're Bomero Film is who makes those. And they're pretty easy to put on. It's kind of like putting on an iPhone screen protector. So let's take a look at the inside. These are, they're pretty, they're no different than like a 401A premium Mustang. That's kind of what I would say a premium Mustang interior. They do have the nice striping and the Cobra logo on the seats. Again, these are the comfort seats. These are not the Recaros. And I did do the floor mats. I had those made. The orange is not a perfect match, but it's a little different than just the standard black mats. So you get like I said, you've got the carbon fiber dash trim. Is it worth $1,000? Probably. I think it looks pretty cool. Is it a must-have? No. But I do think it looks cool. You do get the 401A cluster, like on the regular Mustangs. It's fully adjustable. I mean, you can change this a million different ways by hitting a couple buttons. You can change the cluster appearance to different looks. You get the track appearance. And you got normal. You can have it also do it with the drive modes. And it's obviously color configurable. Like I said, this does not have the this just has the base Sync 3. It doesn't have the navigation. There is a ability to change the exhaust from normal, sport, track, or quiet. And quiet is reasonably quiet. So you do, and then these have individual chassis numbers. They actually built 3,911 for 2022. The true numbers haven't been released yet of what the makeup was. They had some good colors this year. I mean, outside of Code Orange, they also had Mischievous Purple, Eruption Green. They also had that Brittany Blue, the Heritage package, which on the GT350 was a highly sought-after option. They didn't make a ton of them, but I have a feeling when the numbers come out on the GT500 for 22, people are going to be kind of disappointed how many they made. I think they made a significant amount of Heritage Edition GT500s. So, and not that that matters. It's a cool color if you like the color, but if you're buying it for an investment, I think people are probably going to be disappointed how many of them were made. But I could be wrong. So let's take a look one more time. The outside. My prediction on the GT500, and again, I don't have any inside knowledge, but I feel like for the S650 that's coming out next year, for 2024, they'll do the standard GT and the Eco Boost cars, and the interior definitely is in need of an upgrade. And then they have the Dark Horse Performance model, which is kind of like a Mach 1. But then for 2025, I think for 2025 or 2026, they will make a GT500. And I do think it'll be a monster. I know a lot of people said this will be the last of the, high-powered gas, GT500s. The next will be EVs, or they'll have to detune it. And from an investment standpoint, yeah, I think we all hope that happens, but I don't think we're there yet. I think Ford knows there's a market for these cars. There's demand for them. And I think in the S650, they'll make a GT500, and it'll be just as powerful, if not more powerful than this. Maybe they crack 800. I think it'll be the next generation Mustang where they do go to electric, and you finally can say, well, that was the last of the gas monsters. But we'll see. Again, that's just my prediction. But that's pretty much it. That's the GT500. I would appreciate it if you don't mind liking and subscribing. I hate when people beg for that, but it would be nice to get this channel monetized. I do like to play with cars. I love to do car talk. So feel free to add anything in the comments, or if you have questions. The other thing I will do is a shameless or shameful plug for my website that I started recently. carguy4u.com. I'll put the link up and also put it in the description. As I've mentioned on some of my previous videos, I purchased myself, somewhere close to 300 vehicles in my life, and probably helped another 100 people buy vehicles. So I created a website kind of aimed at doing some consulting for people who need assistance with finding or selling or buying and negotiating their new car, as well as helping them particularly with their off-lease cars and making the right decision there. I spent 20 years in the auto finance business on the banking side with a very large bank that did a ton of leasing. And I can tell you customers make a lot of mistakes. So for a small fee, I probably can help save you a lot of money on any part of your transaction, buying, selling, deciding whether to return it. I hope you take a look at the webpage if that's something that may be of interest to you. Either way, I hope you have a great day and happy holidays to you. Thanks for listening.